Welcome to the Woodpreneur podcast, the #1 podcast for the business and marketing side of the lumber, woodworking, hardwood flooring, and sawmill industry. I'm your host, Steve from Acres of Timber. Each week, we feature various wood business owners and entrepreneurs from around the globe. We share their stories, paths, insights so that you can network, learn, and grow your own wood business. Thank you so much for listening. Now enjoy the episode. The Woodpreneur podcast is proudly sponsored by Energy, an ERP software for custom mill workshops.
Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of the Woodpreneur podcast. This is your host, Steve. Today's guest is Matt Williams, also known as Mr. Tupo. How you doing, Matt?
Great. And yourself? Thanks for having me, Steve.
Yeah, I'm glad you're on. Hey, so why don't you tell everybody about your business?
So we're a full residential remodeling and additions, home building, you name it, we do everything, all the way from handyman services on up. We build custom tables, built-ins, pretty much everything under the sun.
Cool. And how long you guys been around?
Well, I started it when I was working for somebody else, doing it at nights and weekends until I made
Side hustle action.
Yep. Till I made enough to make it on my own, or felt like I could. So it started in 2011, and about 2013, I took the plunge to go full on with it.
So 2013, you started doing it on your own.
Yep.
Whoa, happy 10 years.
Yes, sir. We're about 2 months shy.
That's a big deal, man.
Yeah, it's been great. I can't complain, It's been great.
Tell me about the business and the operations, like what's behind the scenes. How many people?
I got 5 employees. Can always use more, but good quality craftsmen are hard to find these days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's them. I run everything behind the scenes. And if we need a helping hand, I still hop out in the field and go to work. I'm not scared to strap on my tool belt.
Yeah, you're Mr. Tool Belt.
That's right.
Talk about those first couple of years. What was it like?
Well, it was great and nerve-wracking at the same time. You're always hunting for the next job. Like, where's the next one going to come? Is somebody going to call? Is the phone going to ring? I actually had my son and his friends. I paid them to go out and put flyers on mailboxes and kind of just hit the ground and pounded dirt.
Yeah. And where are you guys located?
Pataskala, Ohio. Better for everybody else, Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, okay.
It's a suburb.
And how did you first get the word out? Was it the flyers and that sort of stuff? Like, how did you get the word out?
It was the flyers. And then I started watching YouTube videos, learned how to do SEO and build my own website.
Amazing.
And went about it that route and got myself listed on 250 different sites, and started just building from there. Literally everything I've done it from myself. I haven't had any paid advertising.
Wow. With those first couple of years, what do you think the biggest challenge that you had to overcome in order to reach the 10 years?
It was a fine balance between, trying to do the work, run behind the scenes, do all that SEO, like show up on Google and get new customers. You know what I mean? It was
everything.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. And it took a lot. So it got a little easier as I found my first employee, and then subsequently more and more, it became easier to work on the business rather than in the business. You know what I mean? And get that balance.
Yeah. And what were those first key employees that made your life a little bit easier? What was the first thing that you outsourced?
Oh, well, it was literally just the construction of our large remodeling projects, like bathrooms or basements, kitchens, etc. Actually, the first guy I ever hired is still with me today.
Amazing.
Yeah, 10 years. So can't complain.
What do you think kept him around for 10 years? What's the secret to the success?
He enjoyed what he was doing. He enjoyed working for me. Most of my guys have been with me multiple years. Mm-hmm. I have a laid back approach. Like, I'm not going to micromanage you to death.
Yeah.
If you're doing your job, you're doing it right, then there's no need to have a conversation, right? Like, I trust my guys.
Sure. how have you had to develop yourself as a business owner and entrepreneur? What are the things that you had to do and learn in order to 'cause 10 years? I mean, I've run a business, my last business, I ran it for 18 years and it was a very long time. And,
Yeah.
a lot of people, they kind of struggle to make it those first couple of years. Like, what did you have to do in order to change, in order to reach 10 years? Like you personally?
So, I mean, I had to not sweat the small stuff.
Mm,
Like you have to learn some things what they are, and you can only control so much and so many aspects of everything that's going on and going on around you.
mhm.
And the sooner you learn that, the easier everything else comes. You just got to chill out, relax, take a deep breath, and just, you know, do your best, and good things will come. Put out
Yeah.
good energy in the world,
Mhm.
and people love that.
Interesting. So you had to have a more laid back approach to life.
Yes. Yes. When I was younger, I would get upset. And now these days, I don't care.
Yeah.
Life is good. I know I can't control everything. I don't claim to be 100% perfect, but what I do claim is regardless, if somebody's not happy, we'll make them happy. We'll make it right.
For
It's
sure.
construction. Not
Yeah.
everything's going to be 100%, 100% of the time. It's impossible.
Not everything's going to be perfect either. Right.
No,
Yeah.
not the conditions. You dream it. No perfect outcome is ever there, but we do our best to make everything perfect.
Yeah. All right. So what do you find yourself doing? Like, what's the most profitable service that you have in your business?
That's hard to say because we offer so many services.
Yeah.
I'd probably say the custom table building is the most profitable because it requires the least amount of additional labor. I can do 90% of that myself, except for my tables get so large. Sometimes I got to get 4 or 5 guys to help me lift them.
Yeah.
Um,
You really do everything.
you dream it. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So you do remodels and furniture.
Yes.
Wow. That's kind of insane. And I could see how the remodels, because you're doing them yourself, you don't need a team around you. I guess at any given moment, like how many projects are you working on at once?
It varies anywhere from 2 to 3, and it also depend a lot on the size of the projects, right?
Mhm.
If we got a couple smaller remodels where 1 or 2 guys can be there, I can have 3 going on at the same time. But like I got one house caught on fire. We ripped off the second story. We're rebuilding the whole second story. That one, I got the whole team.
Yeah,
They're working on that.
for sure.
Rebuild that house.
For sure. I'm on your Instagram page. I'm seeing tables. I'm seeing bathrooms. I'm seeing decks. Like, wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive. Do you find that people like that, like variety of skills? Because I'm guessing that you probably have a high customer value, because if you do one thing for one customer, you can do multiple things over the years with them. Is that right?
Correct.
That's
Yes.
smart, man. I never even
We
thought
have
of that.
customers that just constantly come back for different aspects of what they want done throughout their house. It might just be painting. I've had plenty of them start off as, hey, I just got a door that has a problem. And then a couple of years later, it blossomed into a deck or a bathroom remodel or anything of that nature.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's really. So where do you want to take the business? I mean, 10 years, like, is it like you want to do another 10, 20, 50? Like, where do you see yourself going with the business?
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to ride it till I die.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that's my goal.
You still
Keep
enjoy
it
it.
around until, oh, yeah, I still enjoy it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I saw on your Instagram that you do like charitable things. Like, what's that about?
Oh, well, so I lost my grandmother to breast cancer years ago. So, my wife and my parents, we would always go do Race for the Cure every year.
That's cool.
And I even got shirts that are made in honor of breast cancer.
That's cool. That's cool. And your company is like a sponsor of it?
Some years, not that Race for the Cure, we haven't been a sponsor of, just because the sponsorship levels
Mm-hmm.
are quite expensive, but we've sponsored plenty of other things over the years.
That's cool. What do you think the biggest challenge is these days? So 10 years in, got wide variety of products and services. Like, what are you struggling with now?
Material shortages or length of time getting materials, windows, doors, certain things that used to get in a week or 2 weeks are now 12 to 14 weeks.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Supply chain
you
type
know,
of issues.
supply chain issues. And then I could really grow a lot bigger, but you just can't find enough quality people to work any longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a sort of a work wage sort of labor supply shortage in the skilled trades, especially with everything
There
being
is.
very technically driven. Young people don't want to go into the trades as much, right?
Yeah. Agreed. You'll find a few that still want to do it.
Yeah.
But it's less and less.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So this is I don't know if I remember telling you this, but like, this is the part of the podcast where I give you any marketing or business advice. And so is there anything that you need help with or anything that you're struggling with that I could possibly help you?
Well, I mean, I always, I guess in recent time, I've struggled to even have time to update the website or to push the new SEO. Like I told you, I learned how to do all that from the start just because funds were tight.
Yeah.
Reaching the broader market of the Columbus area and maybe the broader employee market, I guess I should say, or talented craftsman market.
For sure.
Those are both areas I've struggled in the last couple of years because I'm so slammed trying to keep up with customer meetings, estimates, working with the guys, materials, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do I reach the broader market and how do I increase my employee base?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So here's what I would do. And like the thing that I see on your, let me go to your website at first is if I look at your Instagram and I look at your website, you accept crypto? That's awesome. Yes.
Yes.
The one thing that I would love to see is more customer testimonials front and center on your website. And I would love to see more process driven work and you as a personality, right? So like one of the things that I asked you was, where do you see yourself in the business? Like how far are you going to continue to run it? And you're like, you're going to ride it till you die. Right. And so,
Yep.
So for me, I'm like, I want to see you more. Like your personality, I'm assuming that your friends probably think you're a character, right? You're passionate about what you, you're passionate about what you do, right? So you have to put yourself in front of your target audience. And almost like, so when I was growing up I don't know if they had this where you grew up, but there was this guy named Crazy Eddie. Crazy Eddie had an electronics place and he was just like, I'm Crazy Eddie and I got these wild deals. And I'm not saying you need to be like that, but I'm just going to be like, you have such a broad range of products and services. And I always tell people like niche down, niche down, niche down. But it seems like the fact that you do a lot actually is part of your brand, which is awesome, right? But when you first started, you probably didn't do everything, right? You had the vision of doing everything, but you probably started with a couple things. Is that right?
No, I actually started out doing
everything. That's incredible.
Everything. Yeah.
So
prior to starting, I worked for a bunch of different companies and learned all aspects.
That's right. This was born out of a side hustle, right? And so, so the fact that your brand is Mr. Tool Belt and a tool belt is a metaphor for doing everything. Like you have a tool for everything. You can solve every different problem. Like I love that a lot. I love that brand. So for me, I think you need to live your brand, right? So my brand is Woodpreneur. I'm the Woodpreneur podcast. I wear hats that have Woodpreneur podcast. I wear hoodies normally. So I think you literally need to be like, I'm Mr. Tool Belt. That's who I am. And you need to wear your t-shirts. You need to wear hoodies. You need to pass out stickers at every single store that you go in. Like, people need to be inundated with your name and your brand. I would start, if you want to reach the broader market, I would show up at networking events. I would show up at charity galas. Like, I would buy a table at a charity gala in downtown Columbus, Ohio, and I would wear the nicest, cleanest, sharpest looking construction outfit ever. Like, show up at a table with like your Mr. Tool Belt hat and a tool belt. You're like, hey, you know what? Let me take off my tool belt as you sit down, and you're sitting next to all of these people. You will be remembered. Like, you will totally be remembered.
Good point.
Everybody's going to be like, oh my God, I need a renovation. I need a new bathroom. I need a deck. I need a table. Who do I call? Mr. Tool Belt. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be like that. So you need to embody your brand. I think you're playing too small after 10 years. You're still playing too small.
Okay.
You're relying on word of mouth and the things coming to you. But if you want to reach the broader market, people have to remember you. And that's the biggest
Smart.
thing.
I agree with that.
Right. Second thing is, you are probably due for a refresh on your logo and your website. Right. And
I agree with that. Yeah, it's getting pretty dated.
it's dated. And along with that, you will sort of outsource a lot of your SEO with that, right? Because you're too busy, because you're
Correct.
too busy networking with bigwigs in order for wearing your Mr. Tool Belt sort of brand and out there. Like, that's what I would do. And then the third thing, here's the third thing, and it all dovetails into attracting the right people. I would, in your Mr. Tool Belt outfit, right, that you wear all the time. So maybe it's like overalls, flannel shirt, your tool belt, right? Like, are you into this idea?
I am. I'm getting into it.
I would show up at high school senior school assembly slash career days. Call all the local high schools and be like, hey, I would love to talk about careers and successful careers in the trades. And then contact a high school counselor, guidance counselor or principal and say, hey, you know what? Give me your most promising, strapping kids that you know that aren't going to college. You know that they're not going to college, but they need an alternative. Those are the people for you. But I believe that if you brand yourself, so for me, I'd be like, I would go crazy at like saying, hey, Mr. Tool Belt, I'm on a job site today. This is what I'm doing. And then you show a couple clips, and then you tell your staff, whoever's working, to film you doing stuff and talking about it, right? Just like, that's part of their job. They need to film you. And then if you do that enough times, right, and you start building your brand, and you're like, hey, Mr. Tool Belt is hiring, be part of the Mr. Tool Belt team, and start. I mean, you have somebody that's been with you for 10 years. For me, I'm like, that's amazing. That's amazing. I would promote that guy. I would like show him, like get him on camera. Hey, what's it like to work for Mr. Tool Belt? And then you just start promoting the idea like Mr. Tool Belt is a career opportunity. That's how you're going to grow. Is that the bigger you build your brand, the more people become attracted to you. And the more that you're out there, people like, all right, I want this guy could do everything. I want to work for him. I want him to do stuff for me. So a way that I would do that is like, A, build your brand, and B, just put it out there that you're hiring. Like, you're constantly hiring, and you're having like open houses. You're doing monthly, you could do monthly mixers, Mr. Tool Belt mixers for all of your clients, all of your potential partners, because you probably pay a lot of people around the city to do a lot of stuff for you too, right?
I mean, I have subcontractors I use.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have a big network of people around you. So I would invite them once a quarter to a Mr. Tool Belt event where you play your favorite music, you host your favorite things, and then that's a time for people that want to potentially work for you. They can come and introduce themselves. That's it. Build yourself into the biggest renovation handyman, furniture designer, deck builder, all of the 30 things that you do in your city. That's what you make that your 2023 goal. Make that your 2023
Sounds
goal.
like a plan.
All right?
Absolutely.
Sir, that's like,
Absolutely.
that's it. Literally live your brand. Next time I talk to you, I want to see you like in your flannels, your Carhartt overalls, a hat on.
I got something for you. So
Yeah.
I do actually have some Mr. Toolbelt clothes. They're just getting old and dated, but I need a, like you
need a refresh, right?
So here's
Yeah.
one of them,
but it's time.
Yeah. I need the 2023 sexiness.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Your wife is gonna be
My
like,
shirt looks like me old.
your wife's gonna be like, damn, Mr. Toolbelt's looking very sexy. You're looking very 2023, right? That's what you need.
That's right.
That's what you need.
That's right.
People be
I
like,
do need an update.
so anyway, that's what I would do. I mean, I love your business. I love the fact that you do everything. Again, if this is 2023, I'd say do the opposite way, but your brand is doing everything. Toolbelt is a metaphor for a variety of products and services. And that's really smart, man. I love what you do. Cool. Any last bit of parting advice for the Woodpreneur community?
Just, take the plunge. Do what you love to do with your life.
Yeah.
Life's too short.
Yeah.
Get out there, whether you do it on the side and then eventually it blossoms into what you do full time.
Yeah.
But just take the time and do it.
Cool.
Do what you love with your life. Tomorrow is not guaranteed.
Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool, man. So it's Mr.Toolbelt on Instagram and MrToolbelt.co is your website, right?
Correct.
Cool, man. Dude, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to getting your story out there.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure.
All right.
Thanks so much for listening to the Woodpreneur Podcast, the #1 podcast for the business and marketing side of the lumber, woodworking, hardwood flooring, and sawmill industry. If you like what you heard, please give us a 5-star rating and review. You can also tap into our community by visiting woodpreneurlife.com. Once again, that's woodpreneurlife.com. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next episode.